is Carmina Rye. The day I was born was the day the world collapsed. Those that survived had to make new lives underground. Up above, there was nothing but ash, and cold, and death. People thought it would last forever, but without us up there, life returned. I was 6 years old the first time I saw the sun. Mom and Dad were heartbroken by what they saw. The world they'd known gone forever. But not me. I'd never seen anything so perfect. We weren't the only ones who'd survived, and slowly, but surely, our little community grew. It wasn't always easy, but for a time, there was peace and prosperity. A new home, a new life, a new normal. But, like all things in this world, it was too good to last. The highwaymen came from the east, led by a pair of sisters, twins. Said they'd heard about our little paradise. Said they wanted it for themselves. We never stood a chance. They took everything from us, our food, our homes, our people. We needed a miracle, and that's when we heard the name Thomas Rush. He and his captain had been up and down the West Coast helping folks like us rebuild, and they were on a train headed right through Hope County. Mom sent me to find them, convince them to help us take our home back. They were our last hope, our salvation. But it all went horribly wrong.
This is Far Cry New Dawn. Ladies, gentlemen, let the show begin. Alright, do you like video games? And I know you do. What about entertainment? We got that too. Video game, I'm on a video game. Video game, oh, what's the name? Video Game Armada. And of course, this is the one true Omni Gamer Boss Bronze coming back to you with another Let's Review. Yes, that thing that I, most of the time for movies, I do to video games too. And again, sorry for taking as long as I am with these reviews. You know, you guys have probably beaten Far Cry New Dawn and moved on to something else by now. But dang it if I haven't had planned to do this. But life stuff happens and I didn't do it at the proper time. But I'm still going to do it now because I love my peoples. The people who like video games, the people who like me, and the people who love video games and me. This is for you. So, New Dawn. It is a direct sequel to the last Far Cry storyline, which was Far Cry 5. Which, I'll be honest with you people, I never really liked Far Cry at all. I mean, I gave it a try in Far Cry 2, but it was sort of like pulling teeth. Weapons keep breaking, and I was all alone and was getting ambushed. I needed stupid diamonds to get anything good. I got this sweet mortar with all those diamonds I collected, and I said, great, I can't wait to just blast people from a way far distance until the mortar sucks. It really, really sucked. And I said, forget this, I'll go play Halo or something. I don't know if Halo existed back that time, but I'm going to fit it into my narrative. The point is, me and Far Cry didn't really see eye to eye until I was seeing some interesting reviews and screenshots and gameplay footage of Far Cry 5. And it looked pretty amazing. I mean, you got a battle dog and a super sniper chick. I mean, yeah, and then you could do stuff and have fun. And I said, oh, this doesn't look like the blasé, pain in the butt Far Cry that I played. This looks pretty awesome. And and I like awesome things. So let's give it a try. A little under a year after it premiered. Like I said, I'm a busy man doing man-like things, so, you know, wasn't able to get it when it came out. But I did get it, and I played it, and I loved it. And, even though I may be in the minority in this, I didn't really mind the ending, which, spoiler, the world came to an end. Yeah, once you took down the cult leader, and everything was gonna be right with the world, here comes the nukes, and just, well, just ruined everything. And the killing part is, the freaking cult leader was still alive. You and the cult leader trapped in a bunker forever. That's how the game ends. Seriously though, I did enjoy I love video games. I enjoy the stories and the journey. But you know, a lot of things in video games, and you know, this is really suspect coming from me, because I love happy endings. Like, to the point where it should always be that way, has been that way for video games for the most part, or at least the games I play, which is quite substantial. But the point is, there is not a lot of deviation to the ending. You get to your basic act structures, you're awesome, you get more awesomer, you defeat the bad guy, everything's right with the world, I'm good with that. There's always a stinger, but you know, that's pretty much the formula, sort of like Marvel movies. Far Cry 5 said, you know what, you did all this, you got super powerful, you saved Hope County, you're a GD legend, let's just reward all your hard work with the end of the world. Thanks for playing! So yeah, so a lot of people outside of me, and you know, yeah, just a lot of people that didn't like that ending, which was a lot, was just super butthurt, as Backlash would say, and mad about that ending. But I enjoyed it. But Ubisoft didn't want to leave those people hanging, and or they had this planned all along. They said, okay, here you go, New Dawn. What happened after the story? So what happens after the story? Well, guess what? People are alive. I mean, not all your companions. Dog, the original dog, is dead. Rip Dog. And Rip Bear, because he ain't there, and I guess Rip Puma. Yeah, all the animals are dead. They don't come back. So, you know, and of course some humans die too. But a lot of other humans did live, yep. After one of the big, you know, pluses of being in a crazy cult state, where cultists were worried about the end of the world, there was plenty of bomb shelters all over, and some of the people of Hope County went into those bomb shelters and managed to survive for the most part. And as life returned, everything became pink and flowery, and they said, you know what, it's time to go back up, because everything's pink and flowery and we're kind of running out of food and air and all that, and thus people began to rebuild their lives, restore society and all that, until raiders. Oh, in this case, the highwaymen, which are basically raiders who want to kill people and take their stuff because they're too lazy to build things and do things on their own. So yeah, that's a thing. So, what is the people of Hope County going to do? They pretty much took care of their cult problem, more or less. But now we got a bunch of butts trying to kill them and take their stuff. You know, this kind of stuff is sucky. So what are you gonna do? Get help, of course. And from a man named Rush, no less, who was going to be bringing a whole train and his homies and say, let's solve your whole, you know, highwayman problem, and for free, we'll help you establish a real civilization, or at least a settlement, so Hope County could start rebuilding normalcy. That was part of the plan until, well, you know, you saw the beginning of the video. The highwayman sort of derailed that plan. I'm hilarious. And as you are not Rush, no. You are the chief of security to Mr. Rush. With you and Mr. Rush, you aren't going to take this setback line. No. You're going to take back all that was stolen from you from the highwaymen. Your pride, your dignity, some guns, and get some revenge on all the people they killed on that train and just making you look like the fool. So welcome back to Hope County and welcome to Far Cry New Dawn. There are a few changes in this game. I mean, if you like shooting and driving and making friends and exploring nature, that's still there. That's great. But since everything is like all Fallout in here, minus the flowers, the color and the flowers are a nice touch, everything's kind of destroyed, and things that were in Far Cry 5 are not there anymore. Or at least if they are there, they're wrecked. So new settlements are there, and the map is slightly smaller than it was before. So, you know, there's not as much to explore, but there's still things to do, thank goodness. As, you know, the chief of security, you do that by killing things that could be a threat, from the highwayman, as I mentioned before, to now not starting as, but now mutated to giant mutated animals that want human flesh. Ooh, so tasty. Nah, not that I would know what that tastes like. Joke over. Anyway, so yeah, now in Far Cry 5, it was easy enough to beat up something, take their gun, use that gun until you get a better gun, or it unlocks due to you leveling up. In New Dawn, it's not that easy. Sure, you can get a gun by taking off a highwayman or finding it in a case or something, and that's great to start, but they added 50% more RPG in this time around, so that gray level gun can only take you so far. Yep, and leveling up ain't gonna help. So in case you haven't noticed, in addition to you having to level yourself up, you gotta level your guns up too. And you gotta add perks. They put perks in the last game, so they put perks into this game. But and I may be wrong, but I think the perks in New Dawn are way more important than the perks in Far Cry. You can literally just Rambo that entire game if you want. But since that's not so much of an option, if you have no way to get new guns, well, you gotta be more talented than you were in the last game, or the last Far Cry game, rather. But don't worry, you can upgrade things rather easily. Once you get to the settlement, I think it was called Prosperity, but I could be wrong. But whenever you get to your main hub / settlement, which used to be a airport / country club back in the Far Cry 5 game, you can start leveling that place up. And the more you level that place up, the more you get leveled up. Not many games done this in the past, and New Dawn hasn't really changed from that formula, but it's still a very unique and awesome formula. You want to see life come back? Everyone's got neat things, like flowers, and medicine, and maps, and guns. You're gonna need guns. Well, you're gonna need guns. And every time you level up a facility, whether it's for like your garage, or your workshop, or your whatever, it influences your awesomeness to have better guns, better cars, and the ability to get herbs on demand, because pharmacies don't exist anymore. And you're going to need those herbs to make medicine. So make sure you level up. How do you level up? Well, not with cash, because Fallout's a thing, and you can't use cash in Fallout, can't use cash here. No. The name of the game is Petrolio. I'm not saying that right, but it is very important. Ethanol. That I can say. You need ethanol to upgrade your home base. You can get that through various ways. You can steal it from the highwaymen through the trucks. You can steal it from the highwaymen by stealing it from their drops. They have planes. What the heck? And most importantly, you can steal it from raiding their bases. The highwaymen's got a crap ton of bases by stealing it from other people, and they kind of live it up until you steal it back. Now, you can keep the base and use it as a fast travel point, which is useful, but you could just scavenge it, get extra ethanol to pimp out your home base a little better, and just let the highwayman get it back. Now, I'm not going to say what happens once that happens, but let's just say they don't like to be throwing L's all over the place. They're going to remember you, and they're going to buff up their security. If you do it again, they're going to buff up one more time in the final buffening, where everything's crazy and tough. And seriously, do not even try a third attempt of raiding after you scavenge it again until you get no short than purple weapons. If you played MMOs, you know what that means. So yeah, those are the ways to buff up your base, and in turn buff up yourself with awesome new weapons that will keep you not being dead. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, so if the cult leader, Joseph Seed, did not die, what happened to him? Well, guess what? He made his reality of New Eden, sorta. Yeah, see, that's the problem with being a cult leader. Even when you're right, which technically he was, you're still kind of a dick. And he kind of realized he was a dick, so he tried to build a society that forgets about technology and tries to mend his ways by being a good person. But even then, he still said, you know what, I'm not doing this right now, and he pieced out of his civilization that he also created. So, spoiler, 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 you're going to have to find him for reasons. And that's when the game really just opens up. But I ain't going to go any farther than that for spoilers. Let's just say you and Joseph Seed are going to have a connection, and not like that. So what about companions? Far Cry is very important about their companions. Well, in addition, some fan-favorite companions are back, which is great, but you also get new animal companions, which are also pretty useful. The new dog, he's very good. In a, not intimidating sort of way, but in a useful sort of way. He'll protect your butt, sniff out enemies before you get even close to them, and help you find stuff. Because if you're a completionist, you're going to need this dog to find all the collectibles. Then there's Horatio, giant mad boar thing, the ultimate tank. Seriously, nothing puts him down. And if you buff him up, you'll need ethanol for that too, by the way. Don't ask. You will be a much better tank and even get back up if he gets put down. Now that's what I'm talking about. And it's the small little things like that that make New Dawn amazing. You know, you can have your companions, they can help you, you know, you can get new items by upgrading and have new ways to take down opponents. You said, well, forget this, I'm not a gun guy, I want a bow and arrow like Far Cry 5. Well, you can have that too, you gotta upgrade it, but bows and arrows are extremely powerful in this game, almost to the point that if you're very good and have a very good aim, you can literally just John Rambo 2 revenge bow and arrow action all over this game. And since it's a very quiet weapon, they won't even see it coming. I'm not much of a bow guy, but I had to learn to be a bow guy for certain trickier aspects to the game. Plus, there are a few, reasons to go bow other than being quiet, like you get double resources from, wild animals you hunt, that sort of thing. But hey, it's always an option, and this game, if nothing, gives you a lot of options. Now, is there anything bad about this game? Anything that was lacking? Well, there are a few things, They may be nitpicks, but I'm gonna still address them. Well, one thing, I do miss the fact that you could take 2 companions with you. I mean, sure, I wouldn't say this game's easy, but I wouldn't say it's overly difficult. So I can understand why Ubisoft would decide, this guy doesn't need 2 companions, just 1 will do. But I like the interaction between the companions between one another. It was great. Plus, sometimes you really want to have just go with a crew, and just go to town on even the most difficulty of base raids. But you're probably saying, well, what about online play? This game has online play. That's true. But the one thing that always annoyed me through the Far Cry 5 playthrough to this playthrough is that there's no matchmaking in this game. Why? I like my friends. But my friends don't play everything I play. None of my friends play Far Cry. And I want to play Far Cry with other people. And maybe meet someone through matchmaking who will be a friend in the future. I don't know. But I do want matchmaking. And I can't matchmake in this game because you could only invite your friends. That's just so horribly inefficient. Well, and also another thing that could be bad is that it is a smaller map. So, there's not much to do in the way of exploration-wise, although there are surprises here and there. Some of the Joseph Seed missions can be right trippy. Remember, spoiler, if you haven't played 5, this is your spoiler warning yet again. This guy has something to do with highly narcotic drives that make you have visions. And his missions do involve a lot of that. So that keeps things interesting, but it's still a smaller footprint than 5. And again, they know that. That's why they cut the pricing down from 60 to 40. That's when that was my price when I picked it up first day, $40, which is good. That's definitely good. More money in my pocket, but still, I mean, I'm not say I'm as Backlash once again would say baller status, but I don't mind spending a little more to have more investment in the game. And you could plow through New Dawn real fast if you're committed, or if you're like a committed streamer for Twitch. Won't even last you like, I don't know, a couple of days. Maybe even a day if you do it 24-hour style. But that's all I really have. It could be longer, it could have more, it could have matchmaking, that's for sure. But on the whole, I like the game. I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna have to give it a pass. A great sequel to Far Cry 5, and it gives you new enemies to fight, and the story is not half bad either. Some of the veterans from Far Cry 5 does come back other than Joseph Seed, so don't worry. You'll see who got hooked up and who had a kid with what and whatever, and the humor's great too, and there's legitimately there is a butt ton of content in a small package. It's still a small package, but you still got a lot to do. Like having a box full of your favorite snack. It may be the size of like a handheld, but it's still your snack, and it's delicious. So I enjoyed this game, even though it was small and no matchmaking. But until next time, this is One Drama Gamer Boss Bronze telling you to stay tuned for one more review I have on the docket. And I'm trying to crank these up as fast as I possibly can. But until next time, take care.